फ्रेंड्स हम फंडामेंटल ड्यूटीज़ डिस्कस कर रहे हैं। तो फंडामेंटल ड्यूटीज़ में देखिए क्या क्या है। देखिए फर्स्ट देखेंगे दो द राइट्स एंड ड्यूटीज़ ऑफ द citizens, the rights and duties of the citizens are correlative. Okay, rights and duties of the citizens are correlative and inseparable. Okay, the original constitution contained only the fundamental rights and not the fundamental duties. Original constitution contained only fundamental rights, not the fundamental duties. In other words, the framers of the constitution did not feel it necessary to incorporate the fundamental duties. Okay, incorporated to interpret the fundamental duties of the citizens of the constitution. They incorporated the duties of the citizen state, okay, in the constitution, okay, in the form of directive principles of state policy. Later in 1976, the fundamental duties of the citizens were added. Okay, later in 1976, okay, the fundamental duties of the citizens were added. Okay. 1976, okay, later 1976, the fundamental duties were added, the citizens were added in the constitution. Okay, in 2002, the one more fundamental duties were added. Okay. Okay. The fundamental duties of the Indian constitution are inspired by the erstwhile USSR. Okay, fundamental duties are inspired by the constitution of the erstwhile USSR, Soviet Russia. Notably, none of the constitution of major these democratic countries like USA, none of the constitutions of major democratic countries like USA, Canada, France, Germany, Australia, and so on specifically contain a list of duties of citizens. Japanese constitution is perhaps the only democratic constitution of the world which contains a list of duties of citizens. Okay, the separate countries, on the contrary, okay, gave equal importance to the fundamental rights and duties on of the citizens. Hence, the constitution of erstwhile USSR declared that the citizens' exercise of their rights and freedom was inseparable from the performance of their duties and obligations. The Swaran Singh Committee recommendation. In 1976, Congress Party set up the Saran Singh Committee make recommendation about fundamental duties, the need or necessary of the make recommendation about fundamental duties. Okay, the need and necessity of which was felt during the operation of the internal emergency in 1975-1977. The committee recommended the inclusion of the separate chapter on fundamental duties in the Constitution. It stressed that the citizens should become conscious that in addition to the enjoyment of rights, they also have certain duties to perform as well. The Congress government accepted this recommendation and enacted the 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act 1976. Okay, the amendment added a new part, namely Part 4A of the Constitution to the Constitution. The new part Constitution consists of only one article, that is Article 51A, which for the first time specified a code of 10 fundamental duties of the citizens. The ruling Congress Party declared the non-inclusion of fundamental duties in the Constitution as a historical mistake and claimed that what the framers of the Constitution failed to do was being done now. Though the Saran Singh Committee suggested the incorporation of 8 fundamental duties of the Constitution, but the 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act 1976 included 10 fundamental duties. Interestingly, certain recommendations of the committee were not accepted by the Congress party and hence not incorporated in the constitution. This includes the frame bill may provide for the imposition of such penalty, such penalty or punishment as they may be considered appropriate for any non-compliance with a refusal to observe any of the duties. No law imposing such penalty or punishment shall be called in question in any court on the ground of infringement, of any fundamental rights, or on the grounds of repugnancy to any other provision of the Constitution. Duty to pay taxes should also be a fundamental duty of the citizens. List of fundamental duties. According to Article 51A, it shall be the duty of every citizen to abide by the Constitution and respect its duties, its ideals and institutions, the national flag and national anthem, to cherish and follow the noble ideals that inspired the national struggle for freedom, to uphold and protect the sovereignty, unity, and integrity in India. To defend the country and render national service when called upon to do, to promote harmony and the spirit of common brotherhood amongst all the peoples of India, transcending religious, linguistics, and regional or sectional diversities, and to renounce practice derogatory and to the dignity of women, to value and preserve the rich heritage of the country's composite culture, to protect and improve the natural environment, including forest, lakes, rivers, and wildlife, and to have compassion for living creatures, to develop scientific temper, humanism, and the spirit of inquiry and reform, to safeguard public property, and to adjure violence, to strive to have excellence in all spheres of individual and collective activity, for that the nation constantly rises to higher levels of endeavor and achievement, to provide opportunities for education and to his child or work between age of 6 and 14 years. This duty was added to 86th Constitutional Amendment. Education to his child, This excellence of your individual activity, Features of the fundamental duties. Features of the fundamental duties. Following points can be noticed. Some of them moral, and the moral duties which others are civil. For instance, cherishing noble duties of freedom struggle is a moral precept, and respecting the Constitution, national flag, national anthem is a civic duty. They refer to such values which have been part of the Indian tradition, mythology, religious and practices. In other words, they essentially contain just a codification to task integral to the Indian way of life. Unlike some of the fundamental rights which extend to all persons, whether citizens or foreigners, the fundamental duties are confined to citizens only and do not extend the foreigners. Like the directive principles, the fundamental duties are also non-justiciable. The Constitution does not provide their direct enforcement by the courts, enforcement by the court, both where there is not legal sanction against the values. However, the Parliament is free to enforce them suitable legislation. Criticism of the fundamental duties. The fundamental duties mentioned Part 4 of the Constitution here have been criticized on the following grounds. The list of duties is not exhaustive, and it does not cover other important duties like fasting, voting, paying taxes, family planning, and so on. In fact, duty of to pay taxes and was recommended by the Sovereign Security. Some of the duties are vague, ambiguous, and difficulties to be understood by the common man. For example, different interpretations can be given to the phrase like noble ideals, composite as a scientific temper, and so on. They have been described by the critics as a more code of normal prospects due to the non-justiciable character. Interestingly, the Sorensen Committee had suggested the penalty or punishment for the non-performance of fundamental duties. Their inclusion of the Constitution was described by the critics as superfluous. This is because the duties included in the Constitution as fundamental would be performed by the people even though they were non-incorporated in the Constitution. The critics said that the inclusion of fundamental duties as a appendage into Part 4 of the Constitution has reduced their value and significance. This would have been added Part 3 so as to keep them on par with fundamental rights. Significance of fundamental duties. In spite of the criticism and opposition, the fundamental duties are considered significant of the following viewpoints. They serve as a reminder to the citizens that while enjoying their rights, they should also be conscious of duties they owe to their country, their society, and their fellow citizen. They serve the warning against anti-national and anti-social activities. Like burning and the national flag, destroying public property, and so on. They serve as a source of inspiration for the citizens and promote a sense of discipline and commitment among them. They create a feeling that the citizens are not only spectators but active participants in the realization of the national goals. They help the courts in determining the constitutional validity of the law. 1992, the Supreme Court rules that in determining the constitutionality of any law, if a court finds that the law in question seeks to give effect to the fundamental duty, it may consider such a law to be reasonable in relation with Article 14, equality before law, and Article 96, freedoms, and thus save such law from untouchability. They are enforceable by the law, hence the Parliament can provide for the imposition and appropriate penalty and or punishment for failure or to fulfill any of them. H.R. Gokhale, then the Law Minister. Okay, give the following reasons for incorporating the fundamental duties of the Constitution. The Constitution, after 26 years in the inauguration, in post-independence India, particularly in the area of emergency, in June 1975, a section of the people should be annexed to fulfill their fundamental obligation in respecting the established legal order. Legal order. The provision in the character chapter, the fundamental duties would have a sobering effect of these restless string who have lost of anti-national subversive and unconstitutional agitations in the past. Indira Gandhi, the Prime Minister, justified the inclusion of fundamental duties in the Constitution. Inclusion of fundamental duties in the Constitution, and argued that their inclusion would have helped strengthen their democracy. So she said the moral value of the fundamental duties would be not the smoother rights, but to establish democratic balance. Okay, by making the people conscious and duties equally. Okay, as they are conscious. Okay, of their rights. The opposition of the Parliament strongly opposed the inclusion of the fundamental duties. in the constitution by the Congress government. However, the new Janata government headed by Morarji Desai in the post-emergency period did not annul the fundamental duties. Notably, the new government should to undo the main changes introduced by the Constitution by the 42nd Amendment Act 1976 through the 43rd Amendment Act 1977 and the 44th Amendment Act 1978. This shows that there was eventual consensus on the nature of the desirability of including the fundamental duties in the Constitution. This is more clear with the addition of one more fundamental duties in 2002 86 Amendment Act. Dharma Committee observations. The Dharma Committee on Fundamental Duties of the Citizen 1999 identified the existence of legal provisions for the implementation of the some of the fundamental duties. They are mentioned below. The Prevention of Insult of National Honor to National Honor Act 1971 prevent disruption of the Constitution of India, of the national flag, national anthem. The various criminal laws enforced provide for punishment for the encouraging enmity between different sections of people on grounds of language, race, place of birth, religious, and so on. The protection of the Civil Rights Act 1955 provides the punishment for offences related to caste, religion. The Indian Penal Code declare the implications of the and assertion prejudicial to national integration and punishable offences. The Unlawful Activities Act 1967 provides for the declaration of a community organization of an unlawful association. The protection of the civil rights and punishment of the offences related to caste and religion. Indian Penal Code declared the imputations of the associations, assertions, prejudicial or to national integration as punishable offences. The Unlawful Activities Act 1967 provides for the declaration of a communal organization as an unlawful association. The Reference of April 1951 provides for the disqualification of members of the Parliament or state legislature for indulging in corrupt practice, that is soliciting votes on the ground of judicial religion, promoting enmity between different sections of people on grounds of the race, caste, language, and so on. The Wildlife Protection Act 1972 prohibits trade of race and endangered species. The Forest Conservation Act 1980 checks in indiscriminate deforestation and diversification of forest. Deforestation and diversification of forest land and non-forest purposes. Notes. Fundamental rights guaranteed 14, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28 are all the persons, whether citizens or foreigners. D.D. Chawla, President of the National Forum of Lawyers and Legal Aid, observed the duties of the may spelled out more concern fast. Litigation the novel ideas to some extent. The housing called may be such as ideal and inspired our national struggle again. What is rich heritage of our composite culture and what is scientific empire? The value of the beyond the general grants people carry on between duties should be so read that as imagination of the common man. C.K. Dafferty, former Attorney General of India, while opposing the inclusion of fundamental duties of the Constitution, said that the more than 99.9% of citizens' law wording Avoiding and there was no need to tell what the duties. He argued that as long as people are satisfied and contented, they willingly perform their duties. He said to tell them what their duties are implies that they are not content is that is cause of after 26 years it is not fair called A.K. Sen opposed inclusion of fundamental duties in the constitution remarks a democratic setup instead thriving willing cooperation and confidence of peoples is to the police position. Okay, Hershwood Master. Remarks willing to cooperation, confidence is her schoolmaster asking the students to stand on the classroom bench because he has not done homework. To begin with, it was the people of India who created the sovereign democratic republic in 1950, but with the republic is now claiming to be the master of citizens and then habitual obedience guides command to do his duty. States confidence in the citizens obviously second. Thank you friends. Complete हो गया. Now next discuss करेंगे amendment of the constitution.